Good morning and welcome back to Big Mouth. Whatever happened to the Hollywood film and TV industry, the beacon of my childhood and my teen years and my 20s and even a little bit of my 30s? I'm 45, by the way. I grew up to films like Superman the movie, Star Wars, Gremlins, Ghostbusters, Rocky, Karate Kid. Need I go on? In TV, The A-Team, Knight Rider, Dallas, Dynasty, Falcon Crest, Chips. It was a great time to grow up. What have we got now? You're going to throw Game of Thrones at me. Yes, Game of Thrones is like anything, like nothing we had growing up. It's one of the great shows. I admit it. But the days are gone of great TV from Hollywood. I remember when we hit the 2000s. 24. One of the most epic, groundbreaking, phenomenal TV shows you'll ever see. And I was obsessed with it. Where are those type of shows now? They're not being kind of bold with their TV now. We had Smallville. What have we got now? Supergirl. DC's Legends of Tomorrow. The Flash, which was a good show in its first 2 years. Now it's pants. Arrow's okay since season 5. But it's not the show it was in the first 2 years. Basically, Game of Thrones is the only half-decent TV show. The others, well, actually, with one exception, Lucifer is just a great, exceptional, engaging, entertaining show. And I'll do a video about that another time. One of the things that we've got from Hollywood now is the lack of kind of different variety of film engineers. All it is now is Star Wars, DC. I love DC, don't get me wrong. I even like Marvel a little bit. But it's literally DC, Marvel, Star Wars. And everyone else is playing catch-up, trying to do franchises as well. We had franchises growing up, not like this. But we also just had one-off individual movies, like Starman. You know? It was brilliant. Because the actual intent was to make a great film from a great story with great acting, with great directing. E.T. is a prime example. Spielberg was a very intelligent man, still is, by the way. Sorry, Stephen, I didn't mean to say that you're not intelligent anymore, but why didn't he make an E.T. sequel? Because he knew it would have been bloody stupid. He could have made an E.T. franchise. We could have seen Planet E.T. We could have seen them in different galaxies. Look, but that wasn't the point of E.T. E.T. was just a nice, friendly story, a human story, even though it was about an alien. And it worked, and it was beautiful. Steven Spielberg gave us Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Why didn't he keep on making more? Because it was just a great one-off film. Ever since the first Avengers, Hollywood has died just a little. It's just like the song. Every time we say goodbye, I just die a little. And that's Hollywood. There is no Hollywood now. I want to do a video about Grace Randolph as well, actually, but she did a video saying Disney would. Now, for me, it's nothing to celebrate. Yes, Disney are making a lot of money. That might be good for Disney and their bottom line, but it isn't good for the film industry, the TV industry, or Hollywood as a whole. It is dying because they became lazy and cheap and just did things that it's like they're obsessed with bringing in at least $1 billion a picture now. Well, when I was a lad, as I said, I hated it when my parents and other people said it when I was a kid, that my days were better than yours, our films were better than yours. But in terms of this video that I'm doing, what we're talking about, I think it's a fact. Yes, you can pinpoint better the fantastic effects and CGI technology, but we didn't need CGI for Star Wars. We didn't need CGI for Superman the movie. Because the intent of the films was to make something special that was captivating and engaging. All it is now, it's like every MCU movie. They don't have a rewatch factor. Not for me. They don't. At least with the DCEU, whatever you want to say, a fan of those movies can actually go, I've rewatched Man of Steel so many times. Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman. You can even rewatch Justice League to bits and find something there. But this is the problem with the dominance of Disney. It's just generic, throwaway content. They're not going to make A Quiet Place. They're not going to make anything raw or deep. One of the saving graces of Hollywood right now is that horror has come back in. And Universal are doing a great job. Universal are back in the game. They've even won the international rights to James Bond. And another subject I want to do another video about. There's lots to talk about here on Big Mouth. This is why it's called Big Mouth, because I've got a big mouth. I've got opinions about everything. Back to Hollywood. For me, it's depressing. I hate Disney. I don't like them because of what they represent and the kind of audience members they represent. It's the kind of person going, it's Disney, innit? Got to go and watch it. Be more demanding of what content you're watching. Because if you go and watch a bunch of generic shit, then guess what's going to happen? A bunch of generic shit is going to keep on being produced and put through the production line. And in the end, we're going to be a bunch of idiots going, yes, it's Disney, yes, it's another film we're going to watch once and buy the T-shirts and the toys. And look, it's depressing. You know, I remember being a teenager, being obsessed with Kevin Costner, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, JFK, one of the most amazing films you'll ever see, The Bodyguard, you know, A Perfect World, Dances with Wolves, which was actually written and directed by Costner. You'll never see a better film than Dances with Wolves in the modern era. But it depends what you're after. I love blockbusters. I love throwaway blockbusters. But there's nothing else to get your teeth into. All the De Niro and Pacino gangster movies we used to get, where are they? It's all gone. You know, Travolta does Gotti. Is that how you pronounce it? And it gets slaughtered by these critics because they're so corrupt and they're so Disney biased. You know, what about Scott Mendelson? He is one of the main problems with Hollywood today, with Hollywood critical media anyway. He turns around and says The Last Jedi, yes, get this, The Last Jedi is as good, if not better, than Empire Strikes Back. How can you win when you've got corrupt people, Disney shills, in the media giving us crap like that? No way is that film anywhere near Empire Strikes Back. Empire was bold, shocking, funny, it had it all. And George Lucas did a great job with a lot of help from Arvin Kershner. What a great man he was. He really was. I remember seeing him in Empire of Dreams, the Star Wars documentary. What a wonderful man. I'll tell you what, it must have been a lot of fun working for him. But you know what? You can't compare Hollywood yesterday to Hollywood today. It's so different because it's become immersed with identity politics. This is another thing now. It's not about the product. It's not about being entertaining. It's not about being compelling. It's about identity politics. It's about, you know, waving your fingers and saying, look at us, we're so diverse. As I keep on saying, diversity is something that should happen automatically. But these people don't care about diversity in film. They are ruining film. And, you know, we've only got a few things to look forward to now. Of course, I'm excited about San Diego Comic-Con. Of course, when the con's on, I'm going to be doing loads of videos updating you guys. Of course, it's fun. But that's all we have. There's nothing else to get excited about. And I'll go back to like shows like Lost and 24, you know, and Prison Break. They were exciting times. Now, we have absolutely nothing. It's just the same old generic load of shite. And it's doing a roundabout constantly. Even when they've tried to bring back things like 24 and Prison Break, it hasn't worked. Why is that? Because their hearts are no longer in it. They're not interested in doing something good and compelling and serious. They just want to wave their fingers and talk about identity politics. What a shame. What a shame the entertainment industry has come to this. And it's not just Hollywood, but they're the main contributors. We see what's going on in the UK, you know, Australia, everywhere. You know, it's a big problem. So my attitude is now, yeah, I'll watch the stuff I want to watch, but mainly I'm just going to ignore what they're saying now and what they're doing mostly. I've got my Blu-rays, I've got my Bond movies. Yeah, feminists, you don't like Bond? Don't give a toss, right? I like Bond. I'm going to keep on watching it. Yes, there's sexy females in bikinis. So what? So what? James Bond comes out of a flipping river sea with tight shorts on in a Casino Royale. I didn't hear you all moaning about that, did you? Thank you very much. More videos later. Be cool.